Hello everyone, welcome to today's Chinese class. And today we are going to learn the lesson 6. 第六课. But before we learn the something new, and we need to review the grammar points and the new words we have learned in the last week. The lesson 5, 第五课. So let's review the lesson 5. Let's see the grammar points first. So in the lesson 5, we learned these 3 grammar points. So the first one is adverb 就. So adverb 就. So the structure 就 as a verb indicates a conclusion or a resolution made on the basis of what's been mentioned previously. So for example, so the 就 is used to show that an action or situation follows naturally from the previous one. So for example, the first one, 你不想去. 你不想去. It means you don't want to go. 你不想去. You don't want to go. So this is the situation now. So this is a situation now. So we can make a conclusion on the basis of this situation. 你不想去. You don't want to go. So the conclusion is 就在家休息吧. 就在家休息吧. So 在家休息. So have rest at home. Have rest at home is a conclusion. conclusion. 就在家休息吧. So in this situation, and we can add the 就. We can add the 就 to show that the action or situation follows naturally from the previous one. Previous one. 你不想去啊，就在家休息吧. 你不想去就在家休息吧. Okay, so this is a 就. Okay, the first one, and then next one is a modal adverb 还. The modal adverb 还. So the structure, the 还 at the adjective means that something is passable or acceptable. So for example, we usually use 还好, 好 good, 还可以. Or 还不错. Or 还不错. So this three is common use. Is a common use. 还好, 还可以 or 还不错 is 还好 is not bad. 还可以 not bad. 还不错 it's okay, it's not bad. So these expressions means that it's not great but not bad either. So you can use them to give so natural or moderate answer. A natural or moderate answer. 还好，还可以，还不错. So for example, how is restaurant? How is this restaurant? How is this restaurant? So you can say 还好, 还可以 or 还不错, 还不错. It means it's not great but not bad either. Okay? Okay. So the last one is adverbial modifier 有点儿. So 有点儿 can add a verb or adjective. The structure 有点儿 as adjective or verb indicates the speaker's negative mood or complaint. So for example, 天气的 weather 有点儿热 is hot. It's a bit hot. The weather is a bit hot. 天气有点热. So that means the weather isn't at the most comfortable temperature. It's not at the most comfortable temperature. So I can say 有点热. Or or the weather is a bit cold. The weather is a bit cold. 天气有点冷. Or these pants are a bit long. Or these pants. 这条 裤子。So these pants 这条裤子 are a bit long 有点儿 at the adjective long 长。这条裤子有点长。And these pants are a bit long. So that means these pants don't meet my expectations. It don't meet my expectations, right? So in this situation, so we can use 有点as a verb or as adjective. Yes, so that means the structure 有点 as the adjective verb indicates the speaker's negative mood or complaint. Okay, so this is a 有点. Or I can say I'm a little sad. I'm a little sad. 我有点难过。sad 难过，我有点难过。So the 难过 this adjective 的难过 it's an active mood. Or I'm a bit angry. 我有点生气。angry 生气。So this is a verb 生氣。我有點難過 or 我有點生氣。So sometimes we add as adjective or words and it's about an active mood or complaint. And in the most of the time we don't add the words like the positive to indicate the positive sentence. To indicate no. But in the most of the time, we don't have the word indicating the positive mood. Yeah. Okay, so this is a 有点. So then continue. Let's review the text and the new words. Okay, now let's listen to the recordings. 听录音。
第5课，就买这件吧。
Lesson 5. Take this one.
课文1，在家里。
Text 1. At home.
晚上我们去饭馆吃饭怎么样？
我不想去外面吃，我想在家吃。
那你准备做什么呢？
就做你爱吃的鱼吧。
New words.
外面，准备，就，鱼，吧。
Okay, then continue.
New words.
见，
sorry.
课文2，在商店。
Text 2. In a store.
帮我看一下这件衣服怎么样？
颜色还可以，就是有点大。
这件小的怎么样？
这件不错，就买这件吧。
New words.
见，还，可以，不错。
课文3，在教室。
Text 3. In the classroom.
今天去不去打球？
这2天有点累，不去打球了。
你在做什么呢？是在想昨天的考试吗？
是啊，我觉得听和说还可以，读和写不好，很多字我都不知道是什么意思。
New words.
考试，意思，
New words.
咖啡，对，以后，
课文4，在公司。
Text 4. In the company.
休息一下吧，喝咖啡吗？
不喝了，我已经喝2杯了。
是呀，咖啡喝多了对身体不好。
以后我少喝一点儿，每天喝1杯。
New words.
咖啡，对，以后。
Okay, so that's lesson 5. The lesson 5. So let's continue learn the lesson 6. Let's continue to learn the lesson 6. So the title of the lesson 6 is 你怎么不吃了？你怎么不吃了？ Why don't you eat more? 你怎么不吃了？ Okay, so as before, let's see what we will learn the grammar points. Okay, let's see the first one. The first one is the integrative pronoun 怎么 integrative pronoun 怎么 Okay, so the structure 怎么 add the verb or adjective. As a verb or adjective, this structure is used to ask about the reason. Is used to ask about the reason for something, indicating surprise or astonishment. So, for example, let's look at some example sentences. Okay, so we can see the basic structure, the subject, add the 怎么 add a verb 动词 or adjective 形容词 So a subject as a predicate. It's a predicate. Okay, the first example, 你怎么不高兴 So do you remember 高兴 it means happy 高兴不高兴 is not happy 你怎么不高兴 So we know the structure 怎么 is used to ask about the reason for something. So 你怎么不高兴 So why aren't you happy? 你怎么不高兴 Why aren't you happy? 你怎么不高兴 Okay, so let's see the next example sentence. 今天 today 今天怎么这么热 这么 it means so or such. So 今天怎么这么热 It's so hot 这么热今天怎么这么热 So why is it so hot today? 今天怎么这么热 Or we can say why is it so cold today? 今天怎么这么冷 So indicating the surprise or astonishment, right? Okay. I see the last one. 昨天 is yesterday. It's a yesterday. 昨天你们昨天你们怎么 Okay, 都 So we use a 都 is means the person is more than two. So we can use a 都没去打篮球 打篮球 is to play the basketball. 去打篮球 is go to go play basketball. 没去打篮球. So 没 is the negative of the verb, right? So it's don't go play basketball. So why didn't any of you go play basketball yesterday? 昨天你们怎么都没去打篮球？昨天你们怎么都没去打篮球？ So this is 怎么 as a verb or as adjective. So for another example, so I can say why are you crying? Why are you crying? Why are you crying? 你怎么 Why are you crying? 你怎么哭了？哎，你怎么哭了 ？Why are you crying? 你怎么哭了？你怎么哭了？你 the subject 怎么 as a verb 哭，你怎么哭了？你怎么哭了？ Or you can say 你怎么在哭？你怎么在哭 ？It means the action of the crying is in the process. 你怎么在哭 ？Or 你怎么哭了？ Or we also can say why didn't you do your homework? Why didn't you do your homework? 你怎么 OK 你怎么 So you don't do your homework, right? You don't do your homework. It's a 不做 or 不写。作业 is a homework. 作业 is a homework. So do the homework is 做作业 or 写作业 or 写作业。你怎么不做作业 or 你怎么不写作业 So why didn't you do your homework? 你怎么不写作业？你怎么不写作业 Okay, now, so read after me. 你怎么不高兴？你怎么不高兴？今天怎么这么热？今天怎么这么热？昨天你们怎么都没去打篮球？昨天你们怎么都没去打篮球？啊，你怎么哭了？你怎么哭了？你怎么不做作业？你怎么不做作业？你怎么不写作业？你怎么不写作业？ Okay, so this is a 怎么 as a verb. We use this structure is used to ask about the reason for something, indicating the surprise or astonishment. Okay, 怎么 as a verb as adjective, and you can have a try to make the sentence use this structure. 你怎么哭了？你怎么不开心？他怎么不说话？ Just like this. Okay, continue. Let's see the second one. The second one is the reduplication of the mirror words. The reduplication of mirror words. So when a mirror word is reduplicated, it means every or each. Every or each. So we, for example, the mirror word 个, the mirror word 个. So the reduplication of the 个 is 个个. Is a 个个. And to remember the 件 is a mirror word for the clothes, remember? So the reduplication of 件 is 件件. So do you remember the Okay, so everything that specific feature is shared by every member in a certain group. So usually followed by the 都. So usually followed by the 都. Okay, so let's look at some of the examples. I look at the examples. So the first sentence. Okay, we can see the basic structure is the subject. Add the reduplication of the mirror word and add the 都 and add something. So the first. So 同学 is the classmate. classmate, and we add the men as a man. So do you remember the men? So the men is usually to indicate the plural, and we usually put the men after the noun is about the people. It's about the people. So 同学们 it means the classmates 同学们 And for the 同学 we use a mirror word 个 and then we add the reduplication of the 个个都很高兴It means very happy. So all the students are happy. So we can see the subject 同学们 So give us a defined group. And then we can use the 各个 So we can use the 各个 to indicate the every and each. Okay. Or we can also use a structure 每 or we can also use a 每 Do you remember the 每 It means every as a mirror word. So 各个 we also can say 每个 every 每个 to mean the every to mean the each. So we can turn this, we can say 同学们个个都很高兴 or 同学们每个都很高兴 have the same meaning. Okay, let's see the next sentence. 这个商店的衣服商店 is a shop 商店 shop So this is a subject 这个商店的衣服 we use a mirror word 件 So we can say 件都很漂亮 and beautiful 件都很漂亮 Every clothes in this shop is very beautiful. So every pieces of clothing in this shop is beautiful. 这个商店的衣服件都很漂亮 Okay, the last one. 这个星期 this week 这个星期 this week 我 okay 天天 it means a day 天 is a day 天 is every day 天天都吃羊肉 is mean the button 羊肉天天都吃羊肉这个星期 So 这个星期 is a subject 天天 and we use a 天 we can use a 天 for the mirror word 天天都吃羊肉 every day I have eaten mutton every day this week 这个星期我天天都吃羊肉 every day 都吃羊肉 Okay, so we can see the subject give us a defined group and then we can use we can choose a mirror word for the subject to emphasize that a specific feature is shared by every member in a certain group. So okay, so let's read the example sentence together. 同学们个个都很高兴同学们个个都很高兴这个商店的衣服件都很漂亮这个商店的衣服件都很漂亮这个星期我天天都吃羊肉这个星期我天天都吃羊肉 Okay, so this is a reduplication of mirror words. Continue. So last one is a pair of conjunctions. In 为所以 因为所以 so the two conjunctions are used to connect two clauses in the causative relation, and the first clause being the cause and the second being the effect. So one can use both or either of them in the sentence. So we know the 因为 we use 因为 before the cause and then 所以 and 所以 before the result. So we have 因为 at the cause and then 所以 at the result. So is the cause and the result the result? So it means because. 因为 it means the because. 所以 and therefore. Okay, so let's see the basic structure. But let's see the example sentence. Okay, the first one. 因为他生病了。因为她生病了 because she was sick 所以没去。因为她生病了，所以没去学校。生病 sick 因为她生病了 because she was sick 所以没去学校。She didn't go to school. 她没去学校。So we know the reason. The reason is that she was sick. The reason is she was sick. And the result. 所以 the result is that she didn't go to school. So here actually we the subject is omit. Here the subject is omitted. 因为她生病了，所以她没去学校 is right. So we can see when both clauses have the same subject, so one can be omitted. 因为她生病了，所以没去学校。So that's all. So okay. So now we can share the same reason. 因为 so let's see. So what result we can have? 因为她生病了。Okay. We use this reason. 因为她生病了。So what will result? Because she was sick, she didn't do her homework. Is it okay? Because she was sick, she didn't do her homework. Is it okay? So this is a logical sentence, right? 因为她生病了，所以没写作业。Because she was sick and she didn't do her homework. 所以没写作业。因为她生病了，所以没写作业。Okay, another one. 因为她生病了。So because she was sick, she didn't go to work. 因为她生病了。Because she was sick and she didn't go to work. 因为她生病了，所以 didn't go to work. 所以没去 go to work 上班，所以没去上班。因为她生病了，所以没去上班。Okay, the last one. So because she was sick. 因为她 生病了。Okay, so the reason and then the result. The result is that 所以 because she was sick, so she didn't go running. She didn't go running. 所以没去 running 跑步。That's right. The running 跑步。因为她生病了，所以没去跑步。因为她生病了，所以没去跑步。So this sentence is a reason is 她生病了 and then you have another result. We have this result. 因为她生病了，所以没去学校。因为她生病了，所以没写作业。因为她生病了，所以没去上班。因为她生病了，所以没去跑步。Okay, so continue. Let's see the next sentence. 因为 so the reason 因为她每天跑步。因为他每天跑步 because he runs every day. 每天 every day. 每天 every day. 因为他每天跑步 because he runs every day. 因为他每天跑步 so we can have a result. The result is 所以身体很好。身体很好。身体很好，身体很 He means he's very healthy. He's very healthy because he runs every day, so he is very healthy. 因为他每天跑步，所以身体很好。所以身体很好。So here we admit the subject admitted. Subject admitted. 他身体很好 and his health, right? Okay, let's see the last one. 因为昨天下雨。因为昨天 yesterday 下雨 it means it rained because it rained yesterday 因为昨天下雨 Okay, and then the result is 所以我们没去打篮球。打篮球 play the basketball, okay? 因为昨天下雨 because it rained yesterday. Okay, the reason is this. The reason is it rained yesterday, and the result is that so none of us went to play basketball. So none of us went to play basketball. 我们没去打篮球。我们没去打篮球 or we can add 我们没去打篮球。Okay, so now I can use this reason 因为 and to make the new sentence 因为昨天下雨 so 因为昨天下雨 because it rained yesterday I didn't wash clothes so I can say 所以我没有 or 没有都可以洗衣服 so wash the clothes 洗衣服所以我没有洗衣服因为昨天下雨所以我没有洗衣服 so wash clothes okay and or another one 因为昨天下雨 okay the reason is it rained yesterday 因为昨天下雨 so I didn't go to Lake Malawi 所以 the result is that 所以 I didn't go to Lake Malawi 我没去 Lake Malawi 马拉维湖因为昨天下雨所以我没去马拉维湖 Okay, so then let's read the sentence together. The first one. So, 因为他生病了，所以没去学校。因为他生病了，所以没写作业。因为他生病了，所以没去上班。 因为他生病了，所以没去跑步。OK， 因为他每天跑步，所以身体很好。因为昨天下雨，所以我们没去打篮球。打篮球。因为昨天下雨，所以我没有洗衣服。因为昨天下雨，所以我没有洗衣服。因为昨天下雨，所以我没去马拉维湖。因为昨天下雨，所以我没去马拉维湖。So this is a conjunction. 因为所以 The two conjunctions are used to connect two clauses in a causative relation, and the first clause being the cause. The first being the cause, and the second being the effect, or the result. So one can use both or either of them in a sentence. Okay, so this is a 因为所以 Okay, so here is your homework. So let's see the application. The first application, the pair work, the first pair activity. Okay, so now we can say they give us this 8 sentence, right? We can see there are 8 sentences given, right? So in the textbook there are 8 sentences you need to choose. So you need to choose 2 and connect them with 因为所以 to make a logical sentence. So now so each person needs to create 4 因为所以 sentences. So I need you to create 4 因为所以 sentences. Okay, so you need to choose 2. You need to choose 2 sentences, connect them with 因为 and 所以 to make a logical sentences. So for example, the first one, 工作太忙, you choose 工作太忙 as a reason or as a cause. 工作太忙, and you choose 7. Choose 7. 身体不好 is your health is not good. So the E is a cause and the 7 is a effect. So I can use 因为所以 to connect them. 因为我工作太忙，所以身体不好。因为我工作太忙，所以身体不好。So just like this. Okay, so after you finish, and please take a photo and send it to the class monitor. And don't forget to write your name on the paper. Okay? Don't forget to write your name on the paper. I need you to write on the Chinese character. And okay, I need you to write on the Chinese character. Okay, so for the homework, you can finish it by next Wednesday. And I will tell the monitor the homework again. Okay. And
homes, offices. It is the most popular beverage in the world. After water, it is the most popular beverage in the world. Older than the Chinese ancients, who first lauded its properties, its history spans nearly 5 millennia. It is no ordinary thing, no simple liquid, but a powerful brew infused with the meditative Chinese spirit. What was born of China will remain China's signature drink. It is Chinese tea, elixir of the Orient. On any given day, in homes, offices, and shops across the United States, over half of the population drinks tea. 158 million of us enjoy this seemingly commonplace beverage while bustling about town. Although our country is the second largest importer of tea behind Russia, we know very little about the trademark wisdom and countless values of this historic drink. Most of us have never given a fleeting thought to how the tea that fills our cup was made. We don't consider its origin, how or why it became so popular. Yet in the history and culture of tea, powerful truths await us. To discover them, we must dig back to the root, to China, where the first dried leaves touched hot water. There, we'll uncover something far deeper and more complex than we'd ever imagined in this elixir of the Orient. Strip away our modern-day Western notions of tea drinking. Trace the story of tea back to its inception, to the discovery of the tea leaf. Where do we find ourselves? Alongside legendary Chinese emperor and herbalist Shen Nong in the biggest windfall moment in ancient Chinese history.
Shen Nong is a very interesting figure. As the legend goes, he was the leader of a tribe 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. He had a bull's head with 2 horns. There are many tea-related stories about him. One is about his transparent belly through which you could see his intestines. So he ate a lot of tea to cleanse the inside of his belly. That's why the plant is called tea, because tea has a similar pronunciation as the character wipe in Chinese. Another story tells that our ancestors lived under a big tree, and sometimes they boiled water in a pot outdoors. One day, they noticed that suddenly the water in the pot was very fragrant. Then they discovered leaves were floating on the water's surface. They had fallen from the tree above, and the resulting mix tasted very good. After drinking it, people were in good spirits.
Whether by human accident or divine fate, emperor, scholar, and herbalist Shen Nong's discovery unexpectedly ushered tea onto the scene. By the 2nd century, tea's utility in Chinese culture was decidedly medicinal. Its powerful, curative abilities were tantamount to divine healing. Tea became integrally rooted in the country's main religions, known collectively as the 3 teachings: Taoism, Buddhism, and Confucianism.
Since its inception, tea has been different from other drinks. It has a material value, spiritual value, and cultural value. As early as the Xia, Shang, and Zhou dynasties, especially Zhou dynasty, tea was used to consecrate the temple and thought of as being infused with spiritual meaning.
Buddhism ascribed to tea a Zen quality. Tea kept monks awake while meditating. It calmed the stomach. Tea's popularity rose so sharply, even Taoists vaunted its benefits, labeling this leaf a key ingredient in the elixir of immortality. Coincidentally, the misty mountainsides, home to Buddhist and Taoist temples, symbolically removed from the mundane world, also grew the best tea plants.
According to Taoism, tea is a panacea. Tea was believed to be one of the medicines that might help human beings defy mortality and become celestial beings. In the Tang Dynasty, there was a famous poet who was also a well-known tea master, whose name was Lu Tang. He wrote a very popular lyrical poem called 7 Bowls of Tea, describing how he drank 7 bowls of tea consecutively, noting how his state of mind was enhanced after each bowl. The first bowl quenched his thirst. After the second bowl, he was no longer lonely. After the third, he felt much more enlightened and could write more easily. When he drank the fourth bowl, he began perspiring and felt all unpleasant sensations leave his body. After the fifth bowl, he felt lighter. After the sixth, he thought he could communicate with the gods of both earth and sky. He said he dared not to drink the seventh bowl, fearing he might grow wings and fly away, soft wind lifting him to the skies, becoming a celestial being.
The ancient Chinese praised almighty tea for its incomparable ability to aid digestion, banish sleepiness, restore vitality, and uplift the spirit.
The ultimate ideal of Taoism is a state of harmony with the soul. This transcendence of the body can be a lifelong endeavor. Among many foods reputed to bring long life, tea is the first choice of the Chinese. We consider 108 the ideal age life should last. So, how to live so long? Tea is the key.
In 8th century China, during the Tang Dynasty, tea transcended its role as a purely medicinal drink. It became what we recognize today, a beverage drunk for pleasure. This pivotal change is attributed to one man, Lu Yu, China's sage of tea.
Lu Yu was a great figure of the mid-Tang dynasty. He'd been discarded as a foundling, so didn't receive a good education at school. Instead, he taught himself and developed his talents. In his 20s, he left northern China to come to Hangzhou. The Classic of Tea is the first book about tea, and at the same time, is the first monograph about tea culture in the history of the world. The book is divided into 3 volumes. Its 10 chapters cover the origins of tea, how it is grown, what water to use, and all aspects of drinking it. Lu Yu was doing pioneering work, with no one before or after him writing about tea in the same way. It's one of the great works of the world.
Lu Yu insists on the importance of ritual during tea preparation, seeing tea practice as another activity to celebrate life. The best tea must pass through 9 stages of manufacture, 7 stages of brewing, and is handled with a special set of 24 implements.
It's very interesting. In the Classic of Tea, there are several chapters involving water. The standard then ranked the mountain water as the best, followed by river water, and finally well water. Among all waters, mountain springs were the highest quality.
Even today, the Chinese people adhere to Lu Yu's prescribed principles. The popular expression, "water is the mother of tea," captures the importance of selecting a pure water source. Of the available options for natural water, Tiger Running Spring in the city of Hangzhou is considered supreme. After Lu Yu, tea would never again be some lowly thing. Producing, brewing, drinking, and enjoying tea would forever be a ritualistic form of art.
Making a superior cup of tea involves 4 elements. First, the tea itself must be good. Second, the utensils must be appropriate for that particular tea. Third, there are techniques to heating the water and steeping the tea that guarantee the best flavor. For example, heating the water too slowly will take away some of its fragrance and freshness. Fourth, and the most important one, the water needs to be of the best quality. All of these complex factors are learned with experience, and the Chinese admire those who have mastered what it takes to get it right. That is why we call it tea art, for there is indeed an art to producing a superior cup of tea.
This very art behind superior tea gave Chinese culture the staying power to endure, even defy, the effects of Western expansionism.
Before tea became popular, there had been large-scale plagues. But during the Tang Dynasty, when tea consumption became widespread, plagues such as the European Black Death didn't occur here. We attribute this to our habit of drinking tea. We know after the Ming and Qing dynasties, China's tea spread across the world, first to Turkey, Korea, Japan, and Southeast Asia. Now, 61 countries around the world grow tea, and people from more than 100 countries drink it. In this way, tea truly became a global cultural phenomenon.
With centuries of history, countless virtues, and deep spiritual meanings, tea has permanently captivated China. This magical herb is now irrevocably part and parcel of the Chinese identity.
A Ming Dynasty writer once said, "All of my life I have had little desire for material goods and made few demands for much of anything. All I want is a cup of tea in the mountains, and that will be enough."
If we had to symbolize the Chinese nation with a plant, then there's nothing more appropriate than tea. It's poetic, romantic, authentic, and the more you pluck it, the more vigorous it becomes. But it's also reserved. These qualities of tea resemble the spiritual core of our Chinese nation. I can suggest to Westerners a simple route to understanding China. Seek to understand tea.
想了解中国文化吗？从一杯茶开始吧。
In the plant kingdom, Chinese tea is classified Camellia sinensis. It grows along hillsides in geometric patterns, as picturesque as illustrations from a storybook.
The growth of tea trees is dependent on two factors, climate and soil. From the composition variables of these two conditions, we can conclude that tea trees prefer a warm and wet climate.
Regularly for ease of picking, or a towering centuries-old tree.
Kinds of tea if they are put in front of you. Green tea should be fragrant, and the infusion should also be green, as one might imagine. On the color scale, white and yellow tea are lighter than green tea, coming in various shades of yellow. Oolong tea tends to be the lightest. Pu'er, particularly the ripest pu'er, is a very deep brown red color, while red tea is slightly lighter and more reddish, of course. The color of these 6 tea categories is closely related to the manufacturing process each undergoes. Specifically, the more they ferment, the deeper the color gets.
Green and white tea, the least fermented varieties, contain the most antioxidants. Their health benefits are popular in the West. Red tea is fully fermented, mild but full-bodied in flavor. Oolong, a semi-fermented specialty tea, possesses characteristics of both green and red tea. Dark teas, such as pu'er, are meticulously aged for years by a skilled tea master. As a result, they are incredibly valuable. Hangzhou Urban District, a popular tourist area known for its scenic West Lake. The most prized brand of green tea is grown nearby. It is a costly, premium tea known as Longjing or Dragon Well tea. The spring harvest for Dragon Well tea requires a sizable crew, scaling the mountainside for tender shoots.
Workers may start picking at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning and only stop working at 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. It's a very difficult job.
We have to wither 2.5 kilograms of green leaves to get 1/2 kilogram of dried tea leaves. And a worker can only pick 1/4 kilogram of green leaves each day.
In a land where tea is supreme, more than 80 million people make a living in the industry. Another one of those people is Rong Hua Lai, 4th-generation farmer and shop owner.
I think it was tea that chose me. Tea has been very important to us since before I was born. The first thing we do after getting up in the morning is open our tea shop. Once a week or so, my wife will go into the yard and have a walkthrough.
It takes 5 years for a seedling to mature for harvesting.
This batch of tea leaves can be picked from March 18th to March 20th. The picking process has strict requirements. Like this tiny tea leaf, it can only be pulled out. The leaves will turn reddish if you rip them with your fingernails. The length of picked tea leaves is also relatively long, about 2 centimeters. The picking length can't be too long or too short. If they are picked too short, some of the leaf is wasted, but leaves that are too long are considered ugly.
These green tea leaves are processed next, molded by skilled hands into the much-coveted Dragon Well No. 43.
Right now, the pot is being heated to a relatively high temperature, between 100 and 200 degrees centigrade. Pushing and pulling plays an important role here. When a high temperature is reached, the color of the tea leaves will gradually turn a yellow-green, which is a particular characteristic of Westlake Dragon Well tea. The first thing we do when someone comes to visit is make tea. We use it to welcome our friends. It bonds those who drink it together and makes it easier for them to get to know each other.
A soft contrast to mass-produced green tea is oolong, a quiet, delicate giant among tea varieties.
Green tea still makes up 70% of tea production in China. What follows is red tea, and then dark tea. Oolong tea presents itself as a premium tea, as it's not produced in large amounts, but it has come to cater to high-end consumers who are attracted to its floral, aromatic fragrances.
4 variations of oolong come from provinces in southeastern China. Phoenix single trunk tea is the
This has to be done 5 times. When tea leaves change color, some of them go from
all of these criteria. That is why the Chinese people drink and love tea.
And Chinese tea is not just for drinking. Beyond the cup, a rich assortment of tea-inspired products are available for daily use.
We use the extracts from tea to develop products such as tea candy, tea noodle, tea snacks, and tea ice cream. There are also products for daily use, such as deodorant, cosmetics, and oral protection products. There are also socks and underwear treated with tea extracts to prevent odor.
Tea is an agricultural mainstay in China's economy and a livelihood for many people. But its importance stretches far beyond mere commerce. Growing this humble leaf lays the groundwork for a cherished elixir that infuses all of Chinese culture.
It's been 5,000 years since the Chinese people discovered and started drinking tea. We have shared this love of tea with much of the world, and for good reason. Tea is said to be a perfect food, nutritional and tasty. It can also contribute to a sense of personal contentment. Few foods other than tea meet all of these criteria. That is why the Chinese people drink and love tea.
Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for listening.